Hello there. Today I am going to show you how to set a telescope for the observation. Usually when we buy a telescope, we had some of the important thing to be checked out, and what are the things which we are going to be have with the telescope for our observation when we buy a telescope. These are what on your screen shows some of main important things. Like one of the main important thing is the tube through which you are going to observe your stars and other things, and the one of most important is your stand. There are two types of stand. Okay, one is a equilateral strands and other is a different one. This one is the equilateral stand. You have to set this with the precautions because it will move along the earth rotations. We had a Barlow lens over here. These are what we call as a Barlow lens. Usually they are costlier, about $3,000 to $2,000 they costed if you are going to buy them separately, but I got it in my telescope kit directly. This is the viewfinder, and one of the most unique thing before setting up your observation, if you are expertised in setting up or alignment of viewfinder with your tube, it will be much easier to set your goal along the telescope. This is what we have. Eyepiece. I had a 3 set of eyepiece. One 10 mm, another is 25 mm, and the last one is 4 mm. So this one mid one, usually when you start first times you will go with the 25 mm eyepiece, and after you can change it for the 10 mm. This is what we have, a 25 mm eyepiece. This is the weight which is required for setting up the alignments. These are some screws needed for change of the directions and other things. This is what we are going to connect eyepiece. Through this we are going to connect the eyepiece to our tube, and this is the base of a total system which will be mounted on the tripod, and after on the tripod you will going to connect your tube. So this is a tripod connection, this is a tube connection. I'm going to show you how to set this base on the tripod and how to connect the telescope through this. Now I'm going to show you how to set the telescope. This is what we have, a tripod. Okay, on this tripod we are going to place the base of this telescope. That is this thing. You have to open this screw over here. And this is what the screw has been. Okay, and you have to place this part around the hole. Okay, I will just place this part around the hole and fix the screw from below. Make sure that you had tightened it completely, otherwise the base will fall out from the tripod. After that, put this inclination screw in the hole near given in the last. You can see this hole. Okay. Okay. This will incline your base to an angle. To which angle you should keep? You should keep at least 29 to 30 angle. How to find that? They have given the angle parameter. You have to shift it to nearly 30. Okay. And with the another screw given to the base, you have to fix it. And screwed it to that value. There are two screws to fix the angle. One which is external will be tighten it. Okay. With the help of, we can go above the 30 or below the 30, depends upon the need, and this place where we are going to keep the tripod. To fix the angle, we have to fascinate the second screw given with the system. Now this is fascinated. Now you have to give the load to the system. This is what we had a load, and this is the rod through which we are going to put the load on the system. You can see there is a hole in the load. You will just put the rod inside the load and fasten tighten it. Now this load is ready. There is a space in this base. You can see over here. This is where you are going to screw down this rod to the system. It is always better to screw down the weight first and then put the telescope. Okay, what I have done? I have just open up the screw given with the scale and rotate it down and then fasten it. Here we are going to put our telescope tube. Okay. This is what the tube we had. There are two screws given in the tube. As you can see, I am unscrewing them. These two screws will be help us to fit the tube on the stand. Make sure that you will keep the eyepiece section toward the adjustment bar. This is what we have our adjustment bar over here, so that when you wanted to adjust with the long screw, you can easily able to adjust it. Okay, and carefully you have to put your tube on this system and there you have You do very carefully, otherwise the tube will fall down. Okay. And don't leave the tube until you are satisfied with its position. Okay? Yeah. Now there are two more screws to fit it down first. These are the two screws. One will be set, the long one will be set exactly below the tube. Okay? You have to screw down it. If I move this screw, you can see my tube is going to move from here to here. And the second screw is below. Okay, just over here. Okay, now you can see both the screws are tightened. Now if you wanted to check out your load is perfectly done or not, okay, as you can see my tube is bending over here. You can fix the position of load by changing the position. You can at least see where your tube and your weight is balanced with each other. This is where they balance with each other. Okay. Now you can see over here there is a screws given for the viewfinder. You have to open these screws of viewfinder on the tube. Okay. Place the standard viewfinder over here and screw them. Now for the eyepiece section, you have to put the eyepiece section in the screw, in the tube mounting part and the eyepiece. Now technically we have connected the whole telescope. Now optically we have to set this telescope. Optically that means we have to align this viewfinder with the view of the tube, and that is then the complete installation of the system. For optical adjustment of the telescope, I am going to focus my telescope to the tower far away. Okay, as you can able to see, something that is far away, like there is a tower 1 or if you can't able to find something, yes, you can now see the tower top. I have to set the alignment of viewfinder and the tower, viewfinder and the tube, such a way that I can see the tower in the viewfinder also and in the eyepiece also. This setup we are going to do. Okay, through this first we set the tube on the first you have to set the tube in such a way that it will focus over there. Now your telescope is so interactive thing that you can move your telescope to at any position you want it. It's completely depends upon you where you wanted your tube to look. So much easier to focus. You have to remove the cap and focus it. Since you are going to see the stars which are very far away, you should focus first your telescope to farthest object you can able to find. Like that I have focused my tube to the tower, which is very at the good distance from the telescope. Now since my tube has been set to view of the tower, now I'm going to set my viewfinder to this. So that they can synchronize with each other. How to set the viewfinder? Very easy. There are 3 screws on the viewfinder. You can adjust these 3 screws to focus on any object. Try to synchronize as much as possible with the viewfinder, because if there is a fraction of displacement, you will not able to find that fraction of displacement too far. Okay. Okay, so like this I have focused or aligned my viewfinder and my telescope to only one object, that is the tower. This one, the tower. Okay. Now my telescope has been optically aligned and ready to shoot in the night. Thank you. Now I have attached the telescope with the camera, and you can see there are 2 dots available. These are the star in the sky, Orion belt. The last star is not seen that much sharp. This is the moon.
focused with the help of telescope and camera. Sorry for shaking.